The other day, I read a very inaccurate post on Facebook that was posted, I am sure, by a very bitter, divorced, unhappy man who follows red pill indoctrination stuff on the internet about divorce. And I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to talk all about why this is incorrect and the truth about women divorcing men. So, if women didn't get the financial benefits from divorce, the divorce rate would drop by 95% overnight. All right, so I think most sane people reading that would know that is complete and utter nonsense and doesn't make any sense. The vast majority of women are not getting divorced because they want some kind of financial benefits. First of all, for most women, there are no financial benefits, right? First of all, a lot of women are out-earning men, out-earning their husband, and they're actually going to be getting a net loss from that. A lot of other women are in relationships and marriages where you're kind of broke. There are no real assets to split in the first place. The only women who are going to really benefit from divorce, and it is only not even really, is women who are divorcing a rich man and don't have a prenup and getting tons of money out of it. But even then, divorce only really makes sense in a relationship, in a marriage, where the man will not shift and become the man that she needs him to be, no matter what she does. Actually, most divorces are completely unnecessary. I'm going to preface this by saying that absolutely there are some men that a woman should divorce, right? Like there are truly abusive men, there are narcissists, there's sociopaths, there is psychopaths, there's men who are so deeply wounded that no matter what a woman does, he will not shift. And if she tolerates the marriage and stays in the marriage, she will just continue to be abused, hurt, neglected, and will feel even worse when she's really trying everything to become more feminine and be the woman that she needs to be. And her children can get really hurt as well, right? So divorce is absolutely necessary. There is definitely a minority of cases where divorce should happen, and ideally a lot sooner than women actually do divorce that man. But then there is also a lot of relationships where the woman is divorcing the man basically because he's emasculated, he's weak, he's not leading, he's simping, he's people pleasing. He might be somewhat abusive, like this could be the flip side, like, judgmental and critical and everything. And the divorce actually isn't necessary. Like, she could actually turn everything around if she knew how to shift herself, if she truly understood polarity. What we're going to be doing here today is I'm going to be talking about why a woman would divorce a man in general, and then talk about why a lot of divorces are quite unnecessary and why they're unnecessary. What a woman can actually do to inspire a man to be the husband that she needs him to be. Before we do that, I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Zach Grody. I'm here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams using feminine energy and what I call feminine communication to inspire a man into stepping up and cherishing you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that below. Hit the notification bell and be sure to like this video because I am going to make sure that it is a good one for you today. And if you would like help learning how to shift out of your unhealthy control patterns and into creating the relationship of your dreams, then go below this video, open up the description. You're going to see the links to all of my offers. Great place to start is my free webinar at zachrodycoaching.com. All right. So why do most women divorce a man? They don't do it for the money. That's ridiculous. They do it because their needs are not being met. Right? Like, this is common sense. This is why men divorce women as well, right? You're not getting your needs met in the relationship. And they're not being met because of a lack of polarity. Because the man and woman either don't know what they need for themselves, they don't know what their partner needs, and even if they did, they don't know how to make those shifts, right? So we'll do a very brief overview of what I teach. So a man's need is respect. It's really to be revered by his woman, to be received by his woman, to be trusted by his woman, to be able to lead his woman, lead the relationship, take charge in the relationship, be seen as the leader, looked up to as the leader, be looked up to basically as a hero, as a woman's hero. That's what a man needs. That can sound a little controversial, but that is the case. And if a man is out of touch with those needs, then he might not be trying to step up as a leader, but ultimately that's what he needs, right? He could have a lot of wounds that are getting in the way of that. What a woman needs is to be cherished. It's to be taken care of. It's to be led with love, with devotion, with care, being given affection, compliments, having a man who's planning the dates, who's taking charge, who's making her life easier, who is leading the relationship forward, leading it into greater levels of intimacy, attraction, love. Having a man who is in his power. His heart is online, but his strength is online as well. She can feel his spine. She can feel his strength. She can feel that he is a rock. She can feel that he's not going to be triggered and create an unsafe environment, an unsafe marriage, unsafe space for her if she opens up or if she makes mistakes. That's what a woman needs. Now, are most men like that? No. Most men are not even close to that. Most men are deeply wounded and are not stepping up as the leader in their relationship. And if they are kind of stepping up, like if they are the one that's more in control in the relationship, most of those men are controlling, abusive in some kind of way, really highly critical in some way, where the woman is kind of putting herself in a box, making herself smaller to conform to the man's triggers. And that's not healthy either. And it's not real leadership. Like, it's energetically leading, but it's coming from the completely wrong place. So most women are experiencing a man who she's just not attracted to, not connected to, not feeling safe with, not feeling that spark anymore because he's not stepping up as that leader. And that's the main reason that a woman divorces. In my experience, this isn't all women. Like, you see the women on the news where it's like, marries a guy and then 3 months later, she's out, gets half his money or whatever, right? Those are sensational examples that basically don't exist in the real world. That's rare. Like, it happens, but it's relatively rare. Most marriages, all the ones that I know, pretty much all the ones that I've experienced, like seen with my women clients in my academy program, we're talking about women who really tried hard to make things work. Most of them stayed way longer than they should have. Well, not exactly. It's like they caused themselves suffering. Some of them, probably a lot of them, could have actually turned things around had they come across my work sooner. But they stayed in that state of suffering because they didn't know that way longer than they should have, and then eventually ended things. Now, those women, well, I'll probably say like a majority, like over half of those women, and just in general in society of women who are getting divorced, could have shifted things had they understood polarity, had they understood their role in things. So what most women do is they'll put all this trying energy out, like trying to fix things, like trying to initiate, going into the coaching role, trying to lead the man to be better in some way, and also be stuck in a bunch of other unhealthy patterns. But basically there's this trying energy. Like, you're trying to fix things in a marriage. It's this paradox, kind of looks like a paradox superficially, where you can't fix a marriage, ladies, by trying to fix it. That's a man's job. A man can absolutely fix a marriage by trying to fix it, because to try to fix it requires masculine energy, right? Like, when I realized that my marriage was kind of becoming a train wreck, this was about over 5 years ago now, I realized, okay, I got to step up. I got to figure this out. And I started learning polarity. I started learning how to lead. I started learning how to communicate to my wife better, how to move through certain fears I didn't even realize that I had. Started leading my wife out of her unhealthy behavior, how to help her feel her feelings more, how to use feminine communication, how to communicate with me in a way that actually made me want to help her and to be a better man for her. So all of that was with the energy of trying to fix the relationship. But if my wife, let's say she discovered polarity first when our marriage was becoming more of a train wreck, and she's like, oh, I got to try to fix things, and I'm going to try to fix things by like leading me into being more of a man. I'm going to make sure that he uses masculine communication with me. I'm going to show him how to show up better and to meet my needs in the way that I need them met, how to be safer and not be triggered, and how to teach me feminine communication and all this stuff. God, I would be so turned off. I'd be like, this is even worse than it was before. And why is that? It's because a woman who is trying to fix a relationship, it means that she's leading the relationship. She's leading to heal things, to fix things. And when she does that, she's breaking things down even more. Because a big part of the problem in the marriage in the first place is that she is leading. Okay? And that, when I say leading, that can look very overt, like taking charge, making the plans, nagging, judging, blaming, initiating contact all the time, going into the coaching role with the man, all of that stuff, resisting the man's leadership. But it can also look much more covert. It can actually look feminine in a way. It can look like fawning, like going along with the man's leadership, even though it doesn't feel good for her. It can look like people-pleasing, approval-seeking. It can look like avoiding communicating her needs, right? Staying silent instead of communicating what's going on. So you could actually do all of those things to try to fix the marriage. It's like you're trying to make it better by creating a feminine costume in some way. That is also not going to work because that's not going to inspire a man to be better. He's still going to kind of feel led in a way, even if you do that. But more than that, he's going to feel your lack of self-worth, and he's not going to feel inspired to add to your self-worth when you're not in your self-worth in the first place. So he's probably going to stay enabled in his unhealthy patterns. The only way to fix a marriage is for a woman to learn how to inspire the man into fixing the marriage. Your job is not to even try to do that. Because if you're trying, it's like, I'm going to try to inspire my man. Well, you're not going to inspire him because you're still in masculine energy. Whenever you're trying to do anything, when you're trying to get an outcome, you are in that masculine energy. You are energetically leading, and it's going to repel a man from doing what you actually want. The only way to get what you want is to stop trying at all, trying to fix anything at all. You need to focus your energy fully on yourself. Look at yourself. How am I not being more feminine? Where am I holding on to control? Where am I trying to get outcomes? And you focus on communicating what you need vulnerably, not to fix the marriage, but because you're worthy of help, right? So even something as simple as asking for help, like, may I please have some help with my feelings? Or may I please spend more time with you? Or whatever. You're asking for help. You're asking permission for help, which can be very triggering for some women if you've heard that for the first time, or second or third time. If you've followed me for a while, it can still be triggering. Some of my academy students are still triggered by that. That's okay. Point is that you're no longer trying to fix things. You're trying to open yourself up to the help that you need. Totally different energy than trying to fix things. You're sharing your feelings vulnerably, right? Again, that's opening yourself up to the help that you need. Why would you share your feelings vulnerably? Because you need help with them. This is what inspires a man to step up. And so I don't know the exact figures. I'm taking a guess. I'm taking a somewhat educated guess here. But I would say somewhere between 50 and 95% of divorces are not necessary. The ones that women choose divorce. If the woman chose to do this work and ideally get support with it, so she actually does it the proper way instead of misapplying everything, which a lot of women do when they try to do it by themselves. Not all women, but a lot of women. If you do that, most divorces would be unnecessary because divorce is such a massive cost to almost everybody. Even if you got a whole bunch of money out of it, it's like if you have children, for example, you're breaking up the family and causing tons of issues with your children. Sometimes that's the better choice. Like if there's if the man's not going to change no matter what you do, and he's extremely toxic and abusive, it's still the lesser of two evils. But in most cases, it's done unnecessarily because the best thing to do is focus on yourself, become more feminine, polarize your husband into becoming the husband and also the father that you need him to be. Also, say you get divorced when you're 30. It's like the quality of men that are out there are way worse than when you were 20. And dating becomes so much more difficult for you. Not impossible, right? If you're single and you're watching us, we help women who are single in our academy program attract amazing masculine men, right? Get some of the few healthy masculine men out there at that age who are like, even if you're 30 or 40 or 50 or even older, but the pickings get a lot smaller. Right? Because men tend to be two things, right? First of all, the men who have choices are going to typically choose a younger woman who hasn't been wounded by divorce and all of that stuff. That's just the way that it is. And then two, most of the good men have already been in marriage, like they're already married. So you're going to be stuck with a lot of bad choices out there. Like I said, we can still help you if you're single, or if you're going through a divorce and you're about to be single. It's just like the better choice is try everything you can in your marriage first. Okay. So this is to give women, if you're in a marriage already, it's to give you hope that you can actually really turn things around, even if you've been trying a lot and it's not working. And then this is also important for women who are single or not yet married to know what you'd eventually be getting into. Because the thing to do if you're not yet married is to do this polarity work first. Learn how to polarize yourself. Get into your feminine energy. Learn how to be vulnerable. Learn how to communicate all your needs. So that before you get married, you know, first of all, you attract a really masculine man if you're totally single to avoid a lot of problems, or you know that the man that you're with who's wanting to marry you is capable of fully taking care of you and being in a polarized relationship with you before you get stuck in a dynamic that might not be able to shift. You got to do this work first. That's the safest thing to do. It's the smartest thing to do, especially do it before you have children. I know that for some women that's too late. You do the best you can, right? You know what you know now. But do what you can, become the most polarized version of yourself so that you can experience what you ultimately need in your life, which is a dream relationship, a man who is fully leading you and taking care of you, and you just get to be cherished. I want to help you do that. If you want that help, if you resonate with what I'm teaching you, then go below this video, open up the description. You're going to see the links to all of my offers. And there's a whole bunch of them. But if you would like hands-on support, if you would like actual support from me, from my coaching team, if you'd like to actually get that practice in and actually make these healing shifts in a program, we can help you. Go to the Academy offer below this video. It's thedreamrelationship.com. What you'll do is you'll book a call with me. We'll talk all about what's going on in your love life, whether you're single, in a relationship, married, doesn't matter. We'll find out what's going on. We'll talk about your control patterns. I'll give you some coaching on what you need to do to shift. And if I believe from now that we can help you in our program, then we can talk all about it and you can make a decision as to whether you would like help in our program. And if so, fantastic. We will help you create the relationship of your dreams. And if that is you, I look forward to speaking with you. We're going to have a great call. I will see you there. That's it for this one.